But Johnny, let's move on into our next topic. And for the rest of the podcast, we're going to be in DC land yet again. I feel like we've been in DC land a lot recently.
Over the past few recently.
Weeks. I think it's actually...
Wolverine was a little refresher from DC land.
Yeah. Johnny's like, please, can I have the... Marvelness
have a little bit of
back in my
Marvel
life?
back in there?
I'm actually going to pull it up. I'm going to see how many weeks it has been. Because I know last week, for sure, was the, hey, let's go ahead and do the full DC cast. But I feel like we've been in DC mode for a while as my computer is loading. Probably something I should have thought of beforehand, but sometimes these thoughts come to your head. So last week was the full DC podcast. We actually did not do one the week before. It was 2 weeks. No, it was 3 weeks before that. So we had a little bit of a break before doing the DC cast last week. But we're back in DC land. And this one was a topic coming from you. You actually sent it to me. I did not see it. I'm looking at the article from CBR.com. It basically says that rumors about who will replace Ben Affleck and Matt Reeves, the Batman, have been swirling since his departure from the role, which was confirmed 2 weeks ago. Several actors have been thrown out, yada, yada, yada. Let me get to the point. And the one that was thrown out, this is not something of like, hey, Warner Brothers is seriously thinking about this. Was fan artist Boss Logic, who we've talked about before, shared photoshopped artwork of Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne on Twitter. However, it was the popular fan artist's caption that started fueling rumors, and it said, "A choice that I never would have thought to try, but been hearing some background chatter about Robert Pattinson being looked at. If the talks source are true, then all of our predictions were wrong. This might be your new Bruce Wayne." So, Johnny, I'm going to ask you, because I know you have strong opinions about this. What would you think if Robert Pattinson was our next Bruce Wayne and our next Batman?
I don't know, because I don't see movies, and I honestly haven't seen him in many movies. I saw parts of Twilight because, you know, you watch it with your ex or your girlfriend because they really want to.
Make you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you love them, so you do it.
Exactly. And what I saw of it, I don't see it. But then again, like I said, I haven't seen a lot of his movies that I'm looking at right now. So I can't say. I haven't seen his acting chops in playing something like that.
So basically looking at what he has been in, and so basically since Twilight Breaking Dawn in 2012, most of the movies, and I'm looking at his IMDb right now, there's a reason why I haven't seen them, because he's been in movies that don't appeal to me. Now here's the thing, I will say this.
You're telling me you're not going to go see The Lighthouse?
Off of the look, and of course all we've got is basically
the look.
The Boss Logic tweet that he put out there. Of course, Boss Logic is going to make him look like Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
So, of course, the image I look like, it's like, yeah, I could see that being a young Bruce Wayne. I just don't know if he fits the characteristics of what I want Bruce Wayne to be. And the only reason I say that is because if he's going to be, and I know it's not going to be, oh, who you are in this movie is different. We've seen actors kind of be very different. Like, just look at Heath Ledger and say, like, oh, because Heath Ledger was the goofy romantic interest in A Knight's Tale, he can't be the Joker because there's no way he can do that. Well, he proved us wrong.
True.
So I'm not saying he can't, but I don't have confidence.
Yeah.
In him
basically
being
what I was
Bruce
saying.
Wayne, because the interesting thing about Batman is this. You don't just have to be in the suit. You have to look like Bruce out the suit. It's kind of like Tony Stark in a way.
Yeah.
But with Tony Stark, let's be completely honest. It's just Tony Stark. Because Iron Man is completely covered with a suit. Whereas Batman, you still have, like, an exposed jaw, and it's a different animal of there's Bruce and then there's Batman, and they're completely different personalities. Whereas Iron Man, they're pretty much the same. Cap, they're pretty much the same. Superman, same thing. You've got Superman, but then you've got Clark Kent, which are very different. Wolverine, in the suit, out the suit. Fox totally did away with that because they never had him have that yellow suit.
Closest thing they gave to him was
in
Days of Futures Past was the closest one.
Yeah.
The brown and yellow-ish.
Yeah, well, I would even say, didn't they have one in like X2 or X3?
Yeah, that was just a black leather suit.
Exactly, but it was still like not even a real suit. It was still Wolverine of what he was in the movie, where this one is, you got to be Bruce and you got to be Batman. I just don't know if I see him. First off, my worry is, am I going to get the acting chops of what I think Bruce should be, even if he looks the part? But then on top of that, is he even going to fit in as Batman? Like, is he going to be a guy that we look at and go, yes, he is our Batman? I say no, and that's why I would be worried if they casted Robert Pattinson as Batman.
I would too, because like you said, I don't have the confidence for him to do it, only because I haven't seen a lot of his movies. I haven't seen, even like the last thing I saw him in again was wow, I forgot the name of it, like Twilight, because you
Breaking
watched,
Dawn Part 2.
Not even that one. I saw the earlier Twilights, and then we just kind of faltered out on watching those. Thankfully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen anything with him in it since, and I don't know his acting chops well enough to say, oh yeah, I have confidence in him doing it, because like you stated, when you do someone like Batman, you kind of playing a dual role of, you're playing the Batman and the detective, but then you have to play Bruce Wayne, the billionaire playboy. And yeah, you can like mesh them together a little bit. Whereas like you said, Iron Man, Captain America, and all of them, they kind of play one character with like a flowing dynamic of ups and downs. Whereas Batman, you kind of are going to play sort of dual role, because one of them is the serious detective and one of them is, you have to basically be a dude dressed as a dude disguised as another dude. You're being Bruce Wayne, you're being Batman dressed up as Bruce Wayne pretending to be a billionaire playboy. So like you have to make it seem like you're almost pretending to be that.
So okay, I'm
which
looking
I guess that would be acting.
So I just typed into Google. This is live on the podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've got two things. First off, while I look into this one, I want to ask you about this, because I just saw this from about 19 hours ago. That would be insane. Guess who else wants to be the Penguin in the Batman?
Who?
Jack Black.
Interesting.
That would be freaking awesome. But I love Jack Black. That's why I think that. Do you think Jack Black could work as the Penguin? And this is very random off of the Robert Pattinson, but this is...
I'm trying to think if that fits Penguin, because I mean, I can see him being a Batman villain, but would it be Penguin because
think
he's
of Jumanji Jack Black?
Yeah,
because that was the last thing.
But still very like goofy.
Or was the Clocks Have Walls out after that? I think
the Clocks Have Walls came out after
the House with the Clocks in the Walls or something like that.
Something like that.
Because the thing that I'm seeing also, and this is from WeGotThisCovered.com, they have a article that's titled "Rumored Shortlist for Warner Brothers New Batman Revealed." And here's the article. I'm just going to read the first part of it. After 3 outings as the world's greatest detective, Ben Affleck has officially retired the cape and cowl, presumably for good too, unless, of course, director Matt Reeves has some sort of secret cameo planned for him in the Batman. We've already known, though, that he still has, I think, 2 movies on his contract, and we're not going to be completely done seeing him. But article goes on and says, nevertheless, Big Ben's choice to leave behind the iconic DC hero has naturally sent the internet into a frenzy, which everyone suggesting candidates that should think would be ideal for Batfleck's replacement. And though Warner Brothers has yet to give us any indication of who they have their eye on, Revenge of the Fans believes that they know who the studio's looking at. On the latest episode of their podcast, they named the following actors as those who've been mentioned in regards to the role. Here are the names: Ansel Elgort, Dylan O'Brien, Logan Lerman, Noah Centino, Jack O'Connell, who we had mentioned last week, Kit Harington, Nicholas Hoult, another guy we mentioned last week, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Richard Madden, who was Robert Stark in Game of Thrones, Robert Pattinson, and Armie Hammer. Indeed, we've heard a lot of these names already, but a few of them are eye-popping for the first time, and overall, it's an interesting list. If that's the list, I mean, just hearing it right now, there's a lot of them where I'm like, I don't really know. But there are some that pop off. I mean, I don't want to totally like go back to what we talked about last week, but just from that list, I like Richard Madden better than Robert Pattinson. Nicholas Hoult, I said last week he's my number one choice out of the ones we mentioned. Kit Harington, I like him over Robert Pattinson. Like if this is the short list for who there's looking at, I don't think Robert Pattinson is at the front of that list. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree with you because there's just like our last week one. There was a lot of them we talked about that we like. Okay, I can see this guy, I can see this guy, and honestly, Robert Pattinson wasn't even on that list that we looked at before.
Okay,
the other list.
So just to throw it out there, because I know, much like you, there are many people that'll be in the comment section like, "Hey, I know who that is," and immediately throw out their thought. But okay, I do know some of these names. I just didn't recognize them. So I'm gonna go through these names for you, Johnny. We'll do this. We'll go candidate by candidate. I will tell you who they are, tell you what they've been in, kind of let you know who they are.
Appreciate that part because I won't.
And you let me know what you think. The first one is Ansel Elgort, which by the name I was like, who the hell is this? But then by typing his name into Google, thank God Google is a thing. Do you want to know who he is?
Who?
Baby from Baby Driver.
Didn't see it.
Basically, he was also in Divergent, but I will go ahead and take this one. Basically, no. I don't want to see him as Batman because Baby from Baby Driver didn't really talk much, and plus doesn't have the same kind of look to me as Bruce Wayne. So I would say no on Elgort. Dylan O'Brien was in Teen Wolf, and he was also, although you and I haven't seen these movies unless you did without me, he was an American Assassin. He was Mitch, an American Assassin. But he was also, more famously, he was Thomas in the Maze Runner movies.
Okay.
So he's, I believe, the lead in the Maze Runner movies, and he was also Mitch in American Assassin. I still don't see him. It's one of those where he just doesn't, like, he's a year younger than us.
Okay.
So, I mean, not that that's like a total, like, no, but like, Then you got Logan Lerman, who he was in Perks of a Wallflower. He's known for being Percy Jackson in the Percy Jackson movies. And the last one, he was also in Fury as well. He's one that I could maybe see. So I'm just going to go off and go each on all of these. But yet again, the thing is, he was 1992. So yet again, we're getting younger than what we just saw. And then also we've got Noah Centino, who you and I are going to have no idea of who he is. And the reason why is, here is his leading things on IMDb. You ready for this?
Okay.
To All the Boys, I've loved before, never seen it. The Fosters on ABC Family or Freeform as of now. Sierra Burgess is a Loser. And then Abraham and Sarah, the musical. So he would be the choice of Completely Green. Like I'm gonna say he would be the Tom Holland choice for Batman. Of basically, wait, who the hell is this?
Yeah, right.
Who is this? And then maybe blows us away.
Who you?
With everything. Jack O'Connell we talked about last week. Kit Harington we talked about last week. Nicholas Hoult we talked about last week. So with that, I'll kind of defer to kind of what we had mentioned last week. Aaron Thomas Johnson is Kick-Ass. So, I mean, maybe. I mean, he's Leo.
From Kick-Ass?
Yeah, he was Kick-Ass in Kick-Ass.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And yet again, think about that. Kick-Ass was about 9 years ago. Kick-Ass 2 was... So if that's your last frame of thought, that was about 13. Oh, he was also Pietro in MCU.
Was he really?
Mm-hmm. I forgot about that.
Wow.
So
Didn't realize
basically, I'll ask you this then. Quicksilver as Batman, because you can kind of reference that because you're a Marvel guy.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I don't think so.
I don't see it either. And of course, it's like, yes, he would look a little different, but like, I don't know. I don't see that as my Bruce Wayne.
Problem is, I'm not familiar with his acting chops because that was one movie.
Yeah, and then Kick-Ass is
Small
vastly
parts.
different than
yeah,
that.
exactly.
And then the last three is Richard Madden, as we know, like I said, Robert Stark from Game of Thrones, Robert Pattinson, who we've been talking about already, and then Armie Hammer, who you may know from some movies, The Social Network he was in. He was also in Cars 3, of course, that one, a voice one, so that doesn't really help you at all. And he was also himself in Entourage. He's one that would be interesting because he is the oldest one, I think, that I've mentioned so far. I would say my short list, yet again, this is a 3-person short list, would be Nicholas Hoult at 1.
Yeah.
Kit Harington at 2. And then either Richard Madden or Jack O'Connell at 3.
Okay.
Because, like, Nicholas Hoult, we talked about him last week.
We did.
I think he'd be perfect. Perfect for both. Kit Harington, you've got confidence in his chops, and he could look the role. I think I like Richard Madden a little bit better than Jack O'Connell. But I'm not ready to just
drop
Jack O'Connell out. Everyone else, I'm going to take you. Thank you for coming. And I'm just going to put you in the trash bin.
Yeah.
Because I just don't see you being my Batman.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want more of the list than where Ricky's short list right there, which I agree with, go to our other last week's segment about who should play Batman.
I'll probably at this point throw it above you so that it pops
Don't appreciate that.
Any final thoughts on this before we move on into Aquaman the Trash?
No,
because I feel like
we're starting to get into what last week's topic was already, because we're basically saying we don't have a lot of confidence in
Robert Pattinson.
Just because
It makes me worried when I hear like, oh man, my sources, but let's hope that source is wrong.
I'm hoping so too.
So this is where you guys come in. First off, let us know what you think about Robert Pattinson as Batman. You like it, you love it, you want some more of it, you don't want some more of it. Let us know what you think down below. But also, if you didn't watch last week's, go ahead and watch that. But also let us know who would be your front runner. Give us your short list of 3 guys who should be the next Bruce Wayne, the next Batman. Let us know in that comment section.